maybe you're in the mood for a little cocktail. The weather is turning. I think it's time. Conditions are right. So you might want to try 1928 Beacon Hill. It's so beautiful.
It is so beautiful, and the owner there takes pride in the menu and the decor. There's so much story there, and Kwani recently got to check it out.
Thank you for letting us be in here today.
Thank you for coming.
And your background obviously is owning this restaurant, but also in antiques.
Yes, it is.
How did that play into you designing the space?
Yeah, interesting combination. I always love to have antiques in any space I'm in, living or my work. I just think it gives it stability, comfort. And I can't really not do anything without the antique part being a part of it.
Right.
So
that's part of you. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Obviously, our viewers might not be fully renovating after they watch this segment, but what would you say is the key for a good canvas when you're thinking about either designing a room or just your house in general?
No, that's a great word. No need to renovate. I just think color palette is a good place to start.
Yeah.
A neutral, whether it be a dark neutral or depending on your architecture and lighting. Here is obviously like a more moody, dark vibe.
Another thing that I know is important to you, old versus new. How does that play into this space?
I love the mix. You don't want just a room full of old things.
Or just
boring
too new,
and
too flashy.
Or too new. Yeah, it's, to curate and build and collect is what I like to do.
Yeah.
The bar stools are new, for example, and sort of modern and I think kind of cool. But they also do have sort of like a 60s retro vibe.
But they're still sturdy.
Well.
Like you said, they're
sturdy.
Antique,
If they're antique, they'll be on the floor. And they'll all be different heights.
Right. Lopsided.
Yeah.
Also, what's this?
Those are matchbooks. I collect old matchbooks, and those are all old Boston
that's
restaurants.
An ode to the city that we're in right now.
Exactly.
Oh, I see. The Oak Bar, the Copley Plaza.
Classics. Actually, Abu Champ, that was this restaurant.
Before it. Owned a female owner.
Yes,
correct?
that's true.
Establishment. Yeah. Another point that you mentioned to me was the color pop. Why is that important throughout the year?
So, especially in New England, we have the Four Seasons, and
they're very specific about the Four Seasons.
It's fun to decorate. I think it just when you have your base canvas, so mine happens to be dark, then you can bring the pops of color in. And I happen to go with orange.
Can you guess the color,
for
guys?
Spring.
How did you figure out a way to incorporate the different colors? So you have the oranges that you clearly sliced and peeled, but then also you have the bottle, the flowers.
Yeah, I mean it's basically so it's like entertaining. Like every day should be entertaining, even if you're entertaining yourself.
How could I put these things together?
Yeah, the flowers, the fruit, the cocktail napkins.
Yes, I didn't even realize there are. To your point, it's like subtle but still a beautiful.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
too crazy
major things.
Right.
It can just be little things.
And finally, the point that you made up to me earlier was switching out accessories. You mentioned Four Seasons throughout the year. How do you do that here?
Things like pillows, the flowers, books. Candles, plates. I mean, the plates, that's sort of more part of the canvas we're talking about, like the darker. But again, it's collecting, like, the old antique plates, old silver trays, look beautiful with cocktails on them. And even your actual cocktail can be part of your color
There's orange in here. Well, cheers, first of all.
Cheers to you. Thank you for coming.
And thank you for showing us how to really spice things up in your space. I'm going to send it back to the studio.
Happy decorating.
Happy decorating.